Michelle, thank you so much. On this Tuesday night, we do have breaking news near Westlake Village.
Desmond Shaw live in Sky 9 over a deadly street race. Desmond?
Yeah, Jeff and Susie, this is really tragic here. We are on Lindero, actually Triunfo Canyon and Saddle Mountain Drive in the Westlake area, the LA County side of Westlake, just south of the 101 freeway. We understand this was a street racing incident, and 2 pedestrians were hit by one of the vehicles. One has been transported to the hospital in unknown condition. Sadly, I can confirm that one person did die here on the scene. So this is LA County sheriffs that are investigating. No word on the vehicles involved. The only civilian vehicle I see right here is this. It looks like perhaps a Volkswagen Jetta or a Honda. I'm unsure, but I only see one vehicle here, so unclear if the other vehicle is still at the scene or if they fled, and no word on the suspects at this time either. Live in Sky 9 overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Send it back to you now in the studio.
All right, Desmond, thank you.
An update now on some breaking news tonight near Westlake Village.
And our Desmond Shaw is live in Sky 9 over a deadly street race. Desmond?
Yeah, Pat and Juan, we're at Triunfo Canyon and Saddle Mountain Drive, and our understanding here is that the 2 victims we found out, they were both juveniles, under the age of 18. It's unclear if they were children or teenagers, but we do know that one of the victims in the street racing incident did die at the scene. The other had to be taken to the hospital in unknown condition. We understand one of the vehicles, one of the drivers of one of the vehicles has also been detained. We believe that is the driver of a silver Mercedes wagon that's outside of the shot, actually kind of far away down the street. We think the other vehicle was an earlier model Honda Accord that has since left the scene. But you see LA County sheriffs out here investigating, possibly talking to witnesses, trying to figure out how exactly this tragedy happened. Live in Sky 9 overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Pat and Juan, back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Desmond.
We want to update you once again on our breaking news from just moments ago.
Desmond Shaw is live in Sky 9 over what might be a car connected to a deadly street race in Westlake Village, Des?
Yeah, Pat and Juan, we believe we found the vehicle here in question. We had heard that it was a Mercedes, and the vehicle, this is almost certainly the vehicle. Looks like a Mercedes SUV, a white one here. You can see the damage in the front of the vehicle. That looks like where the impact with the pedestrian must have been. Again, one pedestrian dead, an adolescent, we understand, or someone under the age of 18. Another victim, also under the age of 18, in unknown condition. We also saw a scooter in an intersection far back in a crosswalk, so we believe that that is connected to this as well. Pat and Juan, back to you in the studio.
All right, so tragic. Thanks so much, Desmond.
Tonight we begin with breaking news. A street race turns deadly in Westlake Village.
Racers slam into 2 pedestrians, both children, killing one and sending the other to the hospital. It happened near Triunfo Canyon Road and Saddle Mountain Drive in Westlake Village.
KCAL's Chris Holmstrom is live at the scene with the very latest tonight. Chris?
Jeff and Susie, such a heartbreaking story, especially since we know one of the pedestrians that was killed was a child. Now take a look behind me. You can see sheriff's detectives are out here as they continue to investigate. They have blocked off this area. Now it's hard to see right now, but if you take a look, you can actually see a scooter laying in the middle of the road. That's actually part of the evidence. And in the distance, we also notice there's a pair of rollerblades and a helmet out there as well. Now take a look at this video. This video is from Sky 9. It gives you a better vantage point of the scene. Here's what we know right now. 2 cars were possibly street racing when they hit 2 pedestrians, both of them under 18. Their exact age, that's still unknown. Well, one of them, as I mentioned, died on the scene. The other was taken to the hospital. Those injuries are unknown. Now, I spoke to people in this area who say people drive really fast down this stretch. Here's what they had to say.
Very fast.
Yes.
Very fast. Very fast.
Especially now, after, after this situation that people can go home, go out or whatever, now they're just driving like crazy.
And as I mentioned, 2 vehicles were involved. We've learned one of those drivers have been taken into custody. As for the other driver, that's still unknown. We're still waiting to hear more information. As soon as we get that information, we'll be sure to bring it right to you. Reporting live for Westlake Village, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News.
Well, a sad development in a fatal crash last night. A second child has now died after being hit by a car in Westlake Village, and authorities say a driver has now been arrested. KCAL 9's Tina Patel is live with the details for us. Tina, such a heartbreaking story.
It really is. Investigators are still out here this morning, and they are not saying whether they believe this was a case of racing or driving under the influence. What they do tell us is that they have arrested a 57-year-old woman identified as Rebecca Grossman, and they say she is now being held on $2 million bail. Triumph Canyon is a popular spot to walk because it's got a great view of the Westlake Village Lake.
People love this area because it's an easy to do loops and safe neighborhood.
But many pedestrians are wary of drivers who they say don't seem to pay attention to the 45-mile-an-hour speed zone.
I know on this street they really do speed quite a bit throughout the day.
It's not clear if speeding was a factor in the crash last night that killed 2 boys. They were in the crosswalk when they were struck. A scooter was still in the middle of the street hours after the crash, and a helmet and pair of rollerblades could be seen on the sidewalk. The crash happened just after 7 p.m. as the sun was starting to set. Some people wonder whether the driver saw the children.
When it's dark, it is hard to see people that are out, but the driver should be paying better attention.
Investigators arrested a 57-year-old driver and charged her with vehicular manslaughter. A white Mercedes with front-end damage was towed away about a half-mile from the crash scene, but investigators would not confirm whether the driver stopped voluntarily or whether this was a hit and run. People who live nearby hope this crash will be a wake-up call for drivers to slow down and for the city to do more to protect pedestrians.
I was just telling my friend that there should be a stoplight or something placed here, a stop sign, just to kind of deter people from speeding.
I wish they could do more, and this might prompt something. I hope it does, because it is, pretty sad.
And back out here live, just on the other side of the investigators, people have started to come out leaving flowers and candles for those 2 boys. We have asked investigators if they could tell us more about the boys, whether they were related, how old they were, but investigators say right now they're not ready to release that information. Amy, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Tina, again, it's just so sad. Thank you.
Tragedy in Westlake Village. 2 young brothers killed after they were hit by a car last night. Now we're learning deputies arrested the co-founder of the famed Grossman Burn Center Foundation, who they say was behind the wheel. KCAL 9's Chris Holmstrom has more on the accident that has changed so many lives.
From prayers to flowers, people in this Westlake Village community are heartbroken after learning 2 young brothers were killed in a hit and run.
It's just really shouldn't be happening. Should not be happening.
It was just before dark. A family of 6 was walking across this crosswalk when tragedy struck. Captain Salvador Becerra with the LA County Sheriff's Department describes what happened next.
The family were in a marked crosswalk, clearly marked. As she realized there were 2 cars speeding her way, she was able to reach out and grab one of her children off of a Razor scooter, pull the child back with the stroller, with another child in a stroller, as the car entered the intersection and hit the other 2 boys.
One of the boys was pronounced dead on the scene. The other died at the hospital. Police arrested 57-year-old Rebecca Grossman. We've learned she's a well-known figure in the community. She even appeared on KCAL 9 News at noon last year to help raise funds for charity.
It really is, about collaborating.
She's the founder and chair of the Grossman Burn Foundation. She's also been recognized for her humanitarian work across the world. Now she's faced with 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Authorities say she was driving under the influence.
It's senseless because it could have been avoided simply by using Uber, Lyft, even calling a friend. And now it'll be two Westlake families that are going to be affected by this for generations.
Captain Becerra also told me Grossman did not stay on the scene and was arrested a quarter mile up the road. She was booked on a $2 million bail. And authorities believe there's also a second vehicle involved. That's all part of this investigation. Reporting in Westlake Village, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News.
2 young brothers were struck and killed while crossing the street in Westlake Village last night. And tonight we have learned the suspect is a prominent member of that community that may have been, police say, driving drunk. KCAL 9's Chris Holmstrom with all the details tonight.
From prayers to flowers, people in this Westlake Village community are heartbroken after learning 2 young brothers were killed in a hit and run.
It's just really shouldn't be happening. Should not be happening.
It was just before dark. A family of 6 was walking across this crosswalk when tragedy struck. Captain Salvador Becerra with the LA County Sheriff's Department describes what happened next.
The family were in a marked crosswalk, clearly marked. As she realized there were 2 cars speeding her way, she was able to reach out and grab one of her children off of a Razor scooter, pulled the child back with the stroller, with another child in a stroller, as the car entered the intersection and hit the other two boys.
One of the boys was pronounced dead on the scene. The other died at the hospital. Police arrested 57-year-old Rebecca Grossman. We've learned she's a well-known figure in the community. She even appeared on KCAL 9 News at noon last year to help raise funds for charity.
It really is, about collaborating.
She's the founder and chair of the Grossman Burn Foundation. She's also been recognized for her humanitarian work across the world. Now she's faced with 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Authorities say she was driving under the influence.
It's senseless because it could have been avoided simply by using Uber or Lyft, even calling a friend. And now there'll be two Westlake families that are going to be affected by this for generations.
Captain Becerra also told me Grossman did not stay on the scene and was arrested a quarter mile up the road. She was booked on a $2 million bail. And authorities believe there's also a second vehicle involved. That's all part of this investigation. Reporting in Westlake Village, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News.
One of the co-founders of the famed Grossman Burn Center is in jail, accused of killing 2 boys in Westlake Village. We had this story as breaking news last night right here on KCAL 9 News at 9. Mourners have been dropping off flowers at the spot where the victims were killed. The family's fellow church members tell us the boys were 11 and 9 years old. Police say Rebecca Grossman was speeding in her Mercedes last night when she ran over the boys. They were crossing Triunfo Canyon Road with 4 other family members. Investigators say she was driving under the influence.
It's senseless because it could have been avoided simply by using Uber or Lyft, even calling a friend. And now there'll be two Westlake families that are going to be affected by this for generations.
Grossman is being held on $2 million bail and faces 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. She is the founder and chair of the Grossman Burn Foundation. The 57-year-old is also known for her humanitarian work around the world. She was last on KCAL 9 last year to help raise money for her charity.
And tonight we are learning more about 2 young brothers struck and killed while crossing the street in Westlake Village.
It was breaking news last night, and now we know a prominent member of the community has been arrested in connection with the crash. KCAL 9's Leslie Marin with more on this heartbreaking story.
Singing hymns tonight, people who knew the 2 young brothers killed in a hit and run in Westlake Village gathered at the spot their lives were taken.
It's very difficult, and it's sad.
Tonight's crowd was made up largely of people who attend the same church as the family. They identified the brothers as 11-year-old Mark and 9-year-old Jacob Iskander, pictured here dressed as deacons.
Jacob is following in Mark's footsteps, very kind-hearted, always following his brother.
Dina Bedwani was the older brother's Sunday school teacher.
He was an exceptional boy, to tell you the truth. I was expecting a lot of stuff ahead in the future from him.
But last night, the boys' futures were cut short. Just after dark, sheriff investigators say a driver came barreling towards a family of 6 near Triunfo Canyon and Lindero Canyon roads. The mother was able to get 2 of her kids out of the way, but the brothers didn't make it. Tonight, sheriff's investigators have arrested 57-year-old Rebecca Grossman, co-founder and chair of the famed Grossman Burn Foundation.
It really is, about collaborating.
Here she is when she appeared on KCAL 9 trying to raise funds for charity. Tonight, Grossman is facing 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Investigators say she was speeding and driving under the influence. They also say she took off after the crash, but was arrested a quarter mile away from the scene. Tonight, that's where this growing memorial now sits to honor the 2 young lives taken too soon.
Lack of thought or time spent thinking about, what my consequences can possibly be has impacted thousands of families.
Tonight, people in this area tell us that they want this crosswalk to be more visible to drivers. They say right now there are signs, but they want possibly lights or even a stop sign installed before another tragedy occurs here again. Reporting in Westlake Village, Leslie Marin, KCAL 9 News.